Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My guest comes from an artistic family, and he learned a good appreciation for music really early in life. He's also was homeschooled and loves the outdoors. And did I mention music? Ladies and gentlemen, time to meet Ben Thorne. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Thank you so much for having me, Nancy.
My pleasure. Sorry for stealing your line about the music thing, but I have.
Oh, no worries.
So you grew up in Cultus Lake, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
So you lived like on acreage with your parents and your grandparents?
Correct. Yeah, my grandmother, my mom actually moved up here when she was two. Her dad bought the property back in, I believe, the late 50s for not a large sum of money compared to today's standards, for 20 acres. And so they moved up here, and she's lived here ever since. And when he passed away, she came back to take care of the property. Her brother, my uncle, also owns half of the property, but he lives out in Vancouver. And then, yeah, I was born here, and I was raised on the property, running around the woods.
Something just happened to
Oh,
to the sound
I was
there.
worried about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
So no, I don't suppose you can compare, but what was it like being homeschooled?
It was great. I mean, there were certain social aspects that I missed out on a little bit, but I did lots of activities, and I was in scouts and stuff, and then I started working when I was fairly young. I mean, not that young, but I started when I was 15 working at Save On, and so I met lots of kids my age that were working there and going to school at the same time. I took some shop classes as well, kind of in my high school years. But yeah, no, all in all, it was really good. I mean, I think it probably depends on how good of teachers your parents are, right? Because your parents are basically your teachers. And so my mom and my grandmother, for the most part, taught me, and I thought they did a really good job. I don't know how they did it. I mean, I wouldn't want to go back through high school again, let alone teach it to somebody else. So kudos to them for doing it. But
Yeah, for sure. And again, having being able to socialize with other children, of course, this makes a big difference.
for
Obviously,
sure.
right?
Yeah, but I was lucky to I had a few childhood friends and stuff too. And so yeah, I didn't feel like I missed out too much on that.
Right. Yeah. Now you had mentioning Savon, you had a number of jobs through the years, right?
Yeah, this and that. I started at Save On when I was 15. They made me a manager there when I was not quite 17.
Oh,
So it was the better location. And so I was managing that oftentimes by myself. There were no other managers there. And I was running a stocking crew and ordering for the store and stuff. And I even wore a little tie. That was interesting. And then I kind of got a little lost there. I cut my hours down, and I don't know, it just kind of burned out for me. And eventually I quit there. I was there for about 6 years. So good stretch of time. And then between then and now, I kind of was just doing some odd jobs, and I was doing landscaping and working at a mill. And I even was the groundskeeper actually for the cottages up here at Cultus Lake for a couple summers. That was a nice little summer job, but yeah.
very good. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, not everybody, like I was like that growing up, different jobs through the years, and
Yeah.
not everybody finds their niche right away.
No, exactly. Everyone takes a different path. And so that path has a different time schedule attached to it, right? So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's important to remember.
Yeah. Now, as I said, you come from an artistic family. So were they all into music?
I mean, my mom actually taught piano lessons when she was carrying me, actually. And so I might have been exposed to that before I was even born.
Yeah.
And then my dad's played guitar and drums. He's also a very accomplished artist, painter.
Hmm.
Gary Hagquist. He's a local artist.
I've interviewed him.
Oh, perfect. I was gonna ask you. I was gonna say you should interview my dad if you haven't already. Well, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, do you do any painting? Are you an artist in that way?
I used to paint with him. Like I painted a few paintings with him in his studio back when his studio was just a room in our house. When he had one of the rooms in the house was his studio, and so I'd go up there and I'd watch TV on his little. I can't remember. I think it was black and white. Actually, it was a little square box TV about yay big,
Right.
and I'd go sit on the couch and watch stuff on that TV, and then I'd paint with them. I had a little setup in there, but I haven't done it for years. I've kind of gone in more into the music, and
Yeah.
out of that, my sister's actually going into graphic design, and she's gone to university for that, and she's in an internship for that right now. She's really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tell me about your music career.
Hmm. I took lessons. I'll kind of start at the beginning. I took lessons when I can't remember the exact age, but I was probably around 12, 11 and 13 there somewhere. I took a bit of guitar lessons at my parents' urging. And I did enjoy it, but somewhere along the line, it just kind of petered out. When I got to be a teenager, I started getting into cars. I like buying cars, and I kind of just, I didn't do a lot of creating throughout that period of time.
Yeah.
And then when I kind of got towards 20, a couple friends of mine, they were into music. I loved listening to music,
Mhm.
and I found myself singing a lot, just, driving around in my car. And when I was with friends, I would just sing all the time. And then a couple friends of mine got into music, and I kind of jammed with them a little bit, but I never really fancied myself a musician. I didn't think I was good enough, or I just assumed I hadn't dedicated enough time to it. Oh, sorry. I know it's going to do that a little bit on us, but yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. And so, yeah, I started jamming with them a little bit. And then when I was about 20, I saw this band play at a house party I was at, and they were really good. It was the owner of the house was in the band. I think he was playing guitar or bass at the time.
Yeah.
But they were really good. The drummer, who's now one of my good friends, Devin Blakeborough, he did a fantastic drum solo. He did the whole John Bonham thing where he plays with his hands. And I can't remember the song. They might have actually been playing the song that Zeppelin did with the drum solo in the middle. But I thought, wow, that's really cool. Like, I wish I could do that, but I'm not good enough. So I'll just, kind of went to the back of my mind again. And then you fast forward a year. It was about almost a year that I'd seen that band play, and they were at a house party again. But this time they didn't have a singer. I guess their singer had quit a couple days before, and so they had a mic and everything set up. And they said, "Does anybody want to get up and sing?" And so I'd had a couple beers by that point, and I said, "Well, I'll get up and sing." And so I got up for about 2 hours and improvised lyrics and threw myself on the ground and kind of went crazy. And then afterwards, I thought, well, that was fun, but again, not my thing. And I'll just go about my day. And so the next day, I get a text message from the owner of the house from the first house party, who is now playing bass, and he asked me to join the band. And so, yeah, that's how I started. And then I've been in bands off and on for, I don't know if that was 21, and then I formed Dealer's Choice when I was 27. So there's a period of about 6 years where I was just, playing in this band and that band. I played in that first band for a good 3 years.
Right.
And then I formed another band called Broadway Bombshell, and we played for a little bit. And then I formed another band called Amadeus, and we played for a little bit. We tried to record stuff here and there, but I never really got any good solid recordings from any of those bands, which is something I really wanted.
Mhm.
Was, it's like a physical representation of your sound, and you're able to show people. Someone says, "Well, what do you sound like?" And you go, "I don't know, because I don't have a recording," right? So that kind of led me to Dealer's Choice, which is a larger story in itself. But yeah, that's kind of the intern there between the two.
So are you still with Dealer's Choice? Is it still active?
Yeah, it was a bit of an interesting run. We got together and we were really excited about the music we were making. It's one of those things where we got together because we liked hanging out, but we were all musicians and we did like jamming. We didn't really jam that much at first, and then we're like, well, let's just jam a little more. And so we started jamming. And the first couple jams we had, we wrote a couple songs, and we're like, wow, those are pretty good. Like, kind of surprised ourselves. We're like, I guess we should. I think it was Jim, our guitar player. We were all sitting around, and I remember it was all kind of silent. And then he goes, "Well, are we going to do this band or what? Are we going to make this band?" And we all kind of said, "Well, I guess we probably should, eh?" Sound pretty good. And so we grabbed their friend at the time. His name's Garrett, but we all called him Gillard for some reason. It was a nickname that he had for years. And so he played a little bass and he'd just jam with us. And so I messaged him and I asked him if he wanted to be the bass player, and he kind of reluctantly agreed. He was like, "Oh, I don't know if I'll have time, but I'll do it." And and then we kind of roped him in. And so, yeah, that was Dealers. And then we went through some ups and downs. And at one point we were really, half of us weren't speaking to the other half of us. And it was kind of that classic band dissension. But then as of late, actually just recently, we've kind of got together with a new bass player. And we've been toying with the idea of working on a new album. Tentatively a Western concept album.
Okay.
I'm calling it Western rock for some reason, just to be cheeky. It's not Southern rock, not country and Western rock, but yeah, it's some interesting new songs. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, COVID has put a damper on a lot of the entertainment industry, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for a while it was completely, shut down. Really, I mean, I'm sure there was some stuff going on. For me, I was shut down, and but yeah, no, it's been interesting. We played one kind of one-off show there where it was kind of at its most open. In August, we got together for a one-off show and played a little kind of backwoods party thing. But other than that, yeah, we haven't played other than that one-off show, we hadn't played since August of 2020, where we did a little show. There we go. Video, yeah.
In and out kind of thing. Hey, this is what happens with technology.
Yeah.
I do know a number of musicians, and they all have that same issue there. They'll get to perform somewhere, it opens for a little bit, then gets shut down again. And so it's up and down, and that must be really difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, the pandemic might have contributed to that initial kind of breakup that we had, but then again, it might have happened anyway.
Right.
And so thinking along the lines of it happening again anyway, then it almost kind of worked out. I spent a lot of time just kind of honing my craft a little bit. I started taking vocal lessons and stuff, and it gave me a bit of time to kind of tune out the noise. I had the noise tuned out for me. And so I was able to kind of work on my craft a little bit while COVID was happening. Kind of look at it, with the glass half full, and you go, what can I still do to, be more prepared when things do open up again?
Right. So what is the future looking like for you?
Well, it's looking really good. I'm going to Nimbus School of Recording and Media right now out in Vancouver. So I just started that. August 30th was my first day. So yeah, I'm in a really cool program there. It's a year-long program called Production, Recording, and Business.
Yeah.
So it's got a number of courses that it teaches within that program, anything from team building to live recording to soundtracks, website design, promotion. There's all kinds of cool elements contained within the program. Mm-hmm. It's been really exciting so far. I get to hang out with people who like music as much as I do and learn about music all day long. It doesn't feel like work in the slightest.
How long does that course go?
It's for a year.
Oh,
yeah, it'll finish August 30th of 2022.
Oh, that's really good. So that's very intense, right?
Very intense. Yeah.
And that's excellent. I think that's really, really great. You still have hopes of putting out an album at some point?
Yeah. Dealer's Choice has one album out, which I managed to release. Shameless plug.
Okay.
We managed to release, rather.
Plug all you want. This is what it's all about.
And that was an interesting process to make that. I feel like we kind of barely managed to get it done by the skin of our teeth kind of thing. There was a lot of headaches and a lot of challenges. But we got it out. It's not exactly the sound we wanted, but we're actually talking with and this is the cool thing about my school, is I get to meet a lot of professionals that are the best at what they do in their field. And so we're talking about actually getting the mixes back possibly and doing kind of a remix. I might do a remix on it myself or just mess around with it. Even if I don't, end up using it, it would be an interesting experiment to play around with your own album and what you can do to it to make it better or worse.
But if somebody wanted this one that you have, how would they get it?
I have physical copies. Every member of the band has vinyl and CDs, and then
so they can they can contact you on Facebook.
Absolutely, Facebook. Yep, Facebook's good. Instagram, Ben Thorne Music. And then it's online all major streaming platforms, so Spotify, Google Music, and Apple Music.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'll make sure that
it's around.
figure out
Yeah,
something. Under
yeah,
your name, I'll figure out something so that people can access it. You know,
perfect.
want to do that. That would be really
Great,
good.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're just about out of time, actually.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, unless you had something else.
Time flies.
Well,
No, no, no. I hadn't written anything down specifically. I was kind of just winging it.
that's what I usually do, you know. But you're always welcome to come back anytime. If you have something
Wonderful.
that you want to share, just let me know. You know, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Absolutely. Would love to.
Stay on camera while I say goodbye to the audience, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Ben Thorne, and you can check out his his album Dealer's Choice. You can Ben Thorne Music. He's on Instagram. He's on Facebook and Spotify.
Yeah,
Got
Spotify.
that
Yeah.
right? I hope Spotify. Anyway, I hope you keep watching the show and stay safe and peace out, everyone.
Thank you, Nancy.